As a gift of allegiance, I will wield you power that you could never have dreamt of. I have made a forge past your Nexus. Come to me, I will give you my power, and in exchange you give me yours. My servants will be waiting. The Forbidden Arras Law by AtomA. At first, there was nothing, but then there was something. The arena was opened, and there was nothing but a grid background. The god above has a name in our story. Their name is Nerf, the god among gods. He created our arena. From there on, he let life evolve. Hands off. What first came to be was the creation of rocks. These formed slowly over time, but came to be as we know them today. But more interestingly, the center of the map held fantastic chemistry and quantum effects. Effects that turned the central portions of the arena a fine purple tint. Not much is known about what happened next, but we know it did. The very first egg was born. Mitosis set in soon after, and soon the numbers went from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8, and so on, until eventually, spontaneously, an egg's entire genome of 1 second and 0 second mutated, creating the first square in the arena. This happened again, and again, and again, consistently to the point in which the mutations are so drastic that we see, very rarely, polygons that have become so far to be nothing more than a black ghost. For a millennia, simple, mindless, polygons ruled the biosphere. That is, until evolution kicked into overdrive. Suddenly, out of seemingly nowhere, triangle sporadically mutated into something with a conscious something you know as a crasher. They had a very basic mindset, just float through the arena, but they liked the quantum effects of the middle, where they then set down a nest to breed from. But it was not long after the emergence of crashers that there was something much greater, the emergence of complex life as we know it. Tanks. Forming after a horrible mutation in the 1 second and 0 second within the eggs. The first tank was birthed, not knowing what to do. Being just merely a ball with seemingly no purpose, they hid within the rocks, away from the scary world. It was from these rocks that they created their weaponry to defend themselves with, learning of the existence of the nest and how valuable the pentagons would be. The band of tanks moved in to gather some, but we met with the crashers, not liking their intentions with their home. A war was fought between the two, but the crashers stood little chance against the Supreme Ballista, and their numbers were decimated. From the use of the nest, tank life reached the peak performance we know of today, but evolution did its part in helping the crashers survive, and the crashers suddenly birthed a newer, more intelligent type of themselves, sentries. The sentries become a formidable foe to the tanks. But not simply enough. For centuries it was this way, until suddenly they arriving from another arena. The Eternals Kronos and Europa arrived. Seeing the arena fit, they created he first of their celestial young from the polygons within the map. Paladin, Freyja, and Zafkiel, disliking the invasion. The tanks fought back, but they just simply couldn't do so well enough. So they utilized the rocks to construct walls and made a fortress. They built their sanctuary here, and for millions of years this sanctum went unnoticed to Kronos and Europa, knowing they wouldn't be safe there forever. The tanks learned to travel to alternate arenalities, but soon conflict over control these arenalities formed, and so came the Arras Civil War. 4 factions came to be the Blues, the Reds, the Greens, and the Purples. They then come to clash against one another in desperate arenalities. While this ensued, Kronos and Europa created 2 more Celestials, NYX and Thea. Upon their arrival, the 5 Celestials came together to create their own pawns to throw against the tanks for control. The Summoner, an idea from Thea, was the first to be brought to light. Soon after, the Elite Skimmer, an idea from Zafkiel, was created. But then, NYX had a very effective, cheap, and quick to make pawn, the Elite Crashers. Due to the willingness of the Crashers for help defending their homeland, they sacrificed themselves to be created into these beasts for vengeance. Paladin, being weary of this plan, created something of his own, the Nest Keeper, proving to be far more powerful, but more difficult to make. It asserted long-term dominance very easily within arenalities, but then the inevitable happened. After centuries of searching through arenalities, Kronos and Europa found them. The tank sanctum, and so began the siege. At first, there was Kronos and Europa. They conquered lands, killed players, etc., until they found the tank sanctuary, which is the siege map, and they started invading that. Now, some point in trying to invade the sanctuary, something happened. Europa betrayed Kronos. She allied with players, creating routes. She put the Rouges in the siege. Now, Kronos can't invade, so to gain power, he started looking for something, and that something was Labyrinth. And now, Kronos made his first attack, but was soon almost killed by the players in Labyrinth, so he left. That's what was heard from Kronos, except appearing in Siege, and I think he's planning something. And now, a strange portal appears in Nexus. It's bordered by a strange red line, and now so is Labyrinth. This was done by Kronos to reduce the players in Labyrinth, and now he would lure the players to Forge, and soon he created Penta and Hexa Dreads. But then something happened. Europa discovered this. Now, something happened which transferred ownership of Forge from Kronos to Europa, and now she turned Dreads into her legion, and with players started ruling Nexus. So now, Kronos put his plans to invade Arms Race, to gather his much-needed power, but now, Europa found out, and soon the Dreads will go to Arms Race along with Europa stop Kronos.